That's what I'm talking.
We're live.
Oh. I'll get there.
Good morning.
Good morning from the floor.
Pockets is on the floor again.
I'll move closer.
Honestly, I should move closer too. I don't feel like yelling. I do have to do a lot of narrating today, and I gotta save my voice.
My voice does not feel safe. My throat is scratchy.
Good morning, lover of wolves.
Good morning.
Happy Sunday.
You would really like my keyboard.
Today, for me, it's blood and leaves. I had a coffee, so I am drinking tea. But it is very strong tea.
It's because you use 2 tea bags, isn't it?
Yep. You said there was none left. I found 2, so I threw them both in the cup. I made some super strong tea. I can get you more tea today.
I need my tea.
I know. Pockets is upset because I drank it all. But
No,
I
know. Actually,
need
I went
caffeine.
through concern in my head, like, what am I going to drink?
It's nice talking to you as well. First thing I did was wake up and make eggs. And that never happens. Like
No, it doesn't.
I
That's
never go for the
amazing.
food, but the first thing I did, I was like, I need food.
Yeah, that was awesome. I woke him up. He would have slept. He would still be sleeping now if I didn't wake
What
him
does
up.
my keyboard look like?
Oh, my keyboard?
Oh,
My
hers.
phone, Shiloh downloaded this
It's a
thing.
wolf. I can show
And-
her how to send you a screen capture when Blood and Beans is over.
I have no idea how to do the technical
It's
shit.
very easy. You push your
It's
volume.
it's
You push
wolf themed.
You push your volume down and the power button at the same time. And it'll take a screen capture.
Yeah, it's wolf themed. You can kind of see the wolf in the background. There's paws.
You might have to get a little closer, babe.
I love it. Ugh, and there's all of these little thingies I can play with. Do I have to put you outside?
Maybe.
Look at your arm.
Yeah, I know. I don't want him to go
I
outside.
just cleaned that shit out.
Been limping.
Yes, because I cleaned it out with salt water.
I'd like to keep him in for a couple of days if possible, even though he's being an asshole.
At least he's not spraying my friggin' screen again.
No, but he's chasing Isabel around the house. Cat. It's gonna be a short Blood and Beans today because I do have like a bunch of narrating. So probably gonna be like a half an hour long today.
Oh, I think I'd go in the store.
Store won't be till later. Unless you need it earlier. But when the lighter runs out, I'll take you. I'm doing the narrating first. It's getting done.
I don't have that. Mine's over there. Actually, I think
There
I
was a
need to
commercial
still
for Blood and
charge.
Beans.
What?
Oh yeah, because it's monetized.
Oh, yeah.
What was the commercial?
Was it in English?
Was it for like that legal weed that you can buy online or anything? I've been seeing those a lot on YouTube.
Stash is trying to give me $30 to invest in just one piece of stock.
Oh.
Yeah. That's, it's a weed stock.
Oh, you have an Isabel dog. Oh,
Her
those
name is
sushi kids.
Isabella. It's Italian. It's Isabella.
Her name is
I call her
Squirrel
Izzy.
on Crack.
I call her Izzy. And the only reason why I say she's a squirrel is because when I have my huggle on, it's like she's digging. She digs like a squirrel that would hide a nut.
Dr. Wipes?
What?
Is Dr. Squatch making wipes now?
I wish. That would be nice.
Oh, we're buffering? Better not be buffering.
Why are we buffering?
I don't know. The thing was spinning.
I'll turn my Discord off.
It's not that. It's probably also the movie.
We have turbo internet. What?
Does it matter?
Oh, it's
Let her,
Faye.
yeah, let her back outside.
Fine. I never get to see her out there. Yeah, I know.
Cat's neurotic. This is
Yeah.
my house.
She's
So,
a good girl.
at least in the morning. It's not usually like this. The animals are all being nuts today.
Faye, it's 11:36.
Yeah, well, whenever we
girl.
wake up, they're usually not like this. Today, they're acting like odd.
No. You're so soft. And you've been outside? You're pregnant again. I feel that. Almost time.
We try. It's definitely not a mansion or anything,
No,
but it's ours.
It's a nice little 14 by 70 trailer.
It's a little house.
It's cozy. It's a 1987. It's the same
It's
age
got,
as my sister,
you know,
so I kind
that
of.
fake
It needs some
slatwood
upkeep.
flooring.
Yep. Where you just knock it in with a mallet a little bit. And just put our slice in.
It's spacious. Pockets basically helps me keep it clean, like she does all the cleaning while I go out and do the working.
The dishes take me the longest.
For now.
This is simple. I get this done. I get the living room done in the morning.
Good morning, Reaper.
And I get the kitchen done in the afternoon. I try and space it out so I have stuff to do.
Happy Sunday. Happy Blood and Beans. Like I said a little earlier, it's going to be a bit of a shorter stream. So probably about 12 o'clock I'll be ending. I do have things I got to get done, so that way you guys all have a video this coming weekend.
I'm stuck on this
The reason why I'm not, well, the reason I'm behind is different, but the reason why I'm also got to get ahead today as well is going camping this weekend at Locust Lake. It was a bit of a minor hiccup. We're not going to have like access to like the bar and stuff, at least not as much as we did last time. Things are a little bit different this year. But we got a new game plan, and a lot of us are going to be tenting it, and it's going to be a blast. Either way, it's going to be a lot of fun. So going to be a big party going on this weekend. We've got a few people from out of state coming to my house on Thursday, and then on Friday we're all heading up to the lake, and I believe Saturday we're getting a keg, and then we're going to camp right through Sunday night and come home Monday.
Idea.
We're going to do a little bit of partying in the Black Woods. It'll be a good time.
I've been on the same freaking puzzle for 3 freaking days. And I think this is,
Yeah, camping should be fun.
yeah, I'm on level 142. Camping's definitely going to be fun because I have my phone.
Yeah, Pockets has got her phone, and
I just need bars so I can be a hotspot.
I found some extra books of mine lying around. I bought some copies a couple years back of I don't know, I think when the Locust Lake book came out. Maybe when the Christmas book came out. It was back when I had like 5, and I ordered a bunch of them, and then I brought them actually up to Locust Lake for like a family get together, and people were like buying them and stuff like that. So, and I still have a few extras. So the new people that are coming this weekend are going to be getting actually Locust Lake books. So level 42 indeed. Oh, I still am a 25-year-old at heart. I got a 25-year-old inner fire. Got a lot of energy and a lot of zest for life. I work with everything I have. I just go to work. I have fun, right? Like
As hard as you work.
Work is play to me, so like I just play hard all day long. I love my job. I listen to great music because I work on a construction site. Usually the guys, or at least where I'm working now, they're jamming stuff like Disturbed and Limp Bizkit, and it feels good to be back in that environment. I feel younger on a construction site. I feel like I used to feel. Feel stronger. And I've lost so much weight. Like, I was just so surprised. I'm wearing a shirt that I've never been able to wear. Pockets got it for me. It's a white Miyagi-Do t-shirt, and it's very comfortable. It's not spandex. It's cotton, but it's like it's nylon, but it's like a very thin, soft nylon.
It's a good summertime.
But it's
shirt.
very skin fitting. Like it's long and it fits really well now. But when I put it on before, when I looked like melted ice cream, you'd put it on and it just like a melted ice cream cone that had been shrink wrapped. And yeah, it didn't look good. I've never been able to wear this shirt.
I've always been wearing it.
So I put this on for the first time yesterday. Well, for the first time that it fit, and kept it on for the first time. And wow, I'm proud of myself. It's not easy to lose weight at 42. I'm honest.
No shit. I'm losing shit too.
And honestly, when I started gaining all that weight in the office, I thought it's been years, man. It's been almost a decade. I thought that I'd never be able to lose all that weight.
I knew you would.
But I mean, in 2 months, it's looked like Shiloh said. It looked like I took my taper's trowel and just went shink, and just started shaving the extra clay off of myself. And yeah, I went back to work construction. I couldn't take the office anymore. I would say the office got me back to not great behavior and drinking. And I guess that's true. I still have, some drinks and stuff now. I still party. But I'm happier. I'm not drinking for the wrong reasons. I'm not drinking or having a drink because I'm stressed or coming home and, having 3 drinks or whatever. I'm not waking up hunched over forward. That most people, when they wake up in the morning, they stretch their back. They stretch backwards. Every single morning when I would wake up for the office, I'd hunch forward. Even, and I didn't, it's not because it's drinking or anything. It's just, I didn't drink every night. But that was every morning.
Yep.
Every morning. Had nothing to do with anything else. I haven't done that in months. I've lost weight. I feel incredible. I'm happier. I feel younger. And yeah, my boss was, when I started working there, he tells me, I'll pay you between 20 and 25. Because that's what I pay my guys. I pay my guys between 20 and 25. I said, all right. So I go to work, I play, right? I'm back on the construction site. I'm a little fat, but I'm a little slower than I used to be, but I'm still keeping up with everybody. And my work, for some reason, 7 years out the game, man, it's like riding a bike. I just grab my tools and mix up the mud and just go to work like I never missed a freaking day. And then I shaved my head because it was so hot where I was working. So hot. And I get sick in the heat. So I shaved my head, and I'm sure it's probably because all I was doing was I wasn't eating breakfast, barely eating lunch, and all I'm doing is drinking water. Just tons and tons and tons of water, and I'm sweating, dripping sweat. And I don't drip sweat, ever. You can ask Pockets. It's like my sweat mechanism is broken. Yep. My shirt, you'll never see me with a wet shirt because I'm sweating. That just does not happen, especially my chest and my back. That never happens. Maybe a little around the arms or something if I'm really hot, but that's about it. I'd leave the construction site or go sit down on break, and the front of my shirt would be soaking wet, and I'd go sand, and the sanding dust would cling to my wet shirt, and I'd get coated. I'd be skim coated. I lost so much weight in 2.5 months, and yeah, I feel good about it, and I have a lot more energy now because of it. It's easier to move around. So that's cool. I got my final termination letter today. So I know that sounds bad. Terminations yesterday or today. It wasn't yesterday either. It was this week. And in fact, it was Wednesday. I got my final termination letter Wednesday. That's what I meant to say. Not today. Wednesday. And I know that sounds bad. termination, right? It's a bad thing. But that means that I am done paying for the child support. I have other children that don't live in my house that I'm paying support for the past 23 years. And as of this past Wednesday, I've completed that. I've fulfilled my obligations. Everybody's emancipated, and yeah. So now my paychecks are going to be a little bit larger, so that's good. And then also on Friday, my boss, because he agreed to pay me $25 when I first started working, he saw me work, and I've gotten nothing but faster and better since I've been working. And then Friday, he said he had something important to tell me, and he said he was going to, bump my pay up to 30. So, and that's a considerable bump for me. And I wasn't looking for it. Like, I know there were a couple other guys that were, and they were asking for it. And, one of those guys is actually laid off because they're really, really slow and cocky and goodbye. But I didn't ask for it. I even told him, I just keep me working. That's all I want. Keep me employed. Give me as much work as you possibly can, and I promise you I will push every single day as hard as I can, and I will make you as much money as possible. That's what I promised, and just have fun and get told every once in a while how good you are. I mean, even if you know that you're good at your job, it's just drywall,
nice to hear
right?
that.
It's just construction. It doesn't matter if you're the best drywaller on the fucking planet. Point is it's just drywall. Exactly. It's just drywall, but you're still getting that recognition, thank you. I appreciate your hard work, stuff like that. Man, that is huge to me because I've been hearing it for 7 years. It doesn't matter how early I come in. Doesn't matter how many days I don't miss. Doesn't matter how many phone calls I make. Got to do more. Got to make more phone calls. You're not meeting quotas. You gotta figure out how you're going to get more people to hire next week and fill X amount of jobs and get your thing up to 90%. And what about this? And you got to take phone calls at night and phone calls at weekends. And how come you can't get people to show up to work? And how come you can't get guys to take their OSHA courses? And it was just non-fucking stop. And I couldn't take it anymore. And I was making less money. The last job I had, I was making sitting in an office right now. I was making 14. I was sitting in an office, in my first job, and I was making about as much as I am right now. When I was done, after I was there for 6 years, I was making about as much as I am right now. If this guy can keep me working all year, that's how much money I'll make. But I hated it. My boss was abusive. I mean, there's no other way to put that than it was very much a hostile work environment. And I put up with it so that way I could get the office experience, because I knew I'd never get another office job without a good experience chunk of office work experience on my resume. So I put up with it for 6 years. And I finally told him to go fuck himself, because I figured not him. He actually left after 4 years, had a new boss. He was alright for a while, but he started being a fucking dick too. So I said, I'm not taking it anymore. Fuck this shit. And I left. I figured I could go out and get another job. And I did. I actually went to go work for an energy company. A very large one. Don't want to say the names. We're not slandering here. But I went to go work for an energy company that put in EV chargers.
It was neat.
And it was cool. And I did that for 6 months. But then instead of now managing people, I'm trying to manage companies. Guys that own companies. Which, again... You can tell those guys what you need, but they're gonna do what they fucking want. And they kind of threw me into it with no training. In fact, when I got there, they said, "We've never done this before. We've never had to train somebody for this before. So you're our guinea pig." So they had no training at all, and they gave me 47 projects to handle right off the bat. Brand new, system to use. I was using Bitrix? Yeah, I was using Bitrix. And yeah, it worked out well, I thought. For 6 months, me and another guy started. He used up every bit of sick time and every holiday time that he had in those 6 months and more, because he kept taking off for an allergic reaction and kept taking off because he wasn't feeling well. And the guy was retired from the military, so I get it. Doesn't really need to, but I didn't miss a fucking day. And I think I got and it wasn't a ton, but I got 50, 60 chargers put in. and he got in like 4. And we both got laid off on the same day. And I was sick. I hadn't burned up any sick time, and I got sick with RSV. They fired me while I was homesick, using my sick time.
Which they can't do.
They couldn't, but they basically blackmailed me when I left and said, I appreciate your understanding. If you ever, I know you got a family to take care of. If you ever, need someone as, a reference, you can use me as a reference. So, and that's, sign this, but I'll give you a reference. Go and fight it. I can't fire you while you're on sick time. Then I'm not going to give you that reference. And what happened is, because it was November, it was almost Thanksgiving, ground was frozen. Right before Christmas. It was actually after Thanksgiving. It was 3 weeks before Christmas. Ground's frozen. You can't dig, can't put in EV chargers. There's some that are wall mounts and stuff, but you don't need 3 project managers for those. 1 project manager can handle it fine. And the kid that was working there before us, really nice kid. I actually still talk to him about once a week. I text him. I love this guy. And my other coworker that got fired with me on the same day, I still talk to him too. Like, the people I worked with over there were fucking great. Cool. It was just my boss is an absolute fucking dick. Yep. So that lasted 6 months. Got laid off right before Christmas. Went through some really hard times this past winter. Yeah. Couldn't pay my support. Couldn't pay my rent. My unemployment got, and I did get it. Everyone said you got denied. Yeah, Hot Pockets got it for me. And that was I had that conversation a while ago. How she had to call the governor's office, but this was 3 months later after I got a job. She had to call the governor's office and cry. But anyway, everyone said you didn't get your unemployment because it never came in. December, January, all the way into February, I never got my unemployment. My child support's not getting paid. My rent's not getting paid. I'm gonna lose everything. I'm gonna lose my car. I'm gonna lose my house. I'm gonna go to jail. I got laid off from Livingston. I could not find a fucking job anywhere until I found a job at another place, a hiring agency, a placement agency. And I was kind of looking into, I wanted to do project coordination again. I wanted to, hire people and place them on jobs and stuff like that. And that's a lot what this job was doing, but a lot more of it was selling. Was being on the phones and cold calling and selling people to companies and trying to set up accounts and get orders. And when I was working for the first company I in an office, it was the sales guy's job to do that. I'm not a sales guy. I've never wanted to be a sales guy. And this job, and I had to take it because I couldn't find anything. At least not office work wise, and there was no taping either because drywall was just non-existent. It was wintertime. So
apparently you didn't call the right guy.
No, it's just the ad wasn't there. I looked, the ad wasn't there.
Oh, he must have just been
He probably didn't need anybody yet, or didn't need to find somebody to the point where he had to go to Craigslist to look for a decent taper. And he's like, you have no idea how many guys I've been through. I'm like, no, I know. I know. I've got over 20 years experience drywalling. So, I trust me. I understand a guy knows how to tape, and he shows up with a bunch of squeegees. And that's not taping tools. That's a squeegee. Everybody says they know how to tape until you get them on a job site, and then usually they're gone in their first hour.
That was my dad. And my dad hated that.
I know how that goes. So, anyways, I worked for this place for started in February, middle of February. Just barely got this job, making $42,000 a year. So, $19 an hour. I'm the only one that works. Now I have all these bills to catch up on. And my boss, I was working in these little bullpens. So, it was a tiny little sales office, probably 14 feet by 12 feet. And there's 6 people with little cubicles, and you have to be on the phone nonstop all day, making phone calls and sales pitches to with everybody else around you. Then you have interviews showing up, trying to do 14 interviews a day and call 50 different clients and take orders, and there was a bunch of other stuff you had to do too. And then you had to fill in and say any phone calls you got, anything else you had to do. It was fucking insane for $19 an hour, and I I was not happy. I did it for, 3 months? I started in February, and I didn't leave until June. My boss one day, because I remember I took down my first time taking orders, I took 3 orders for the other guy that was in the office. Now, I was doing office services. So I was hiring people like bookkeepers and managers, stuff like that. I was doing office workers, hiring for companies. The other guy, he was working as skilled trades services. So he was hiring construction workers, which is exactly what I was doing for 6 years at the first place that I was working for. So while he was out at lunch, I actually got an order from 3 different, from 2 companies. One of them needed 2 different kinds. Needed a trim carpenter and a commercial painter. And then the other guy needed just a regular carpenter, commercial carpenter. So I took down these 3 job orders. And I was so fucking proud of myself. And Andy came in. I'm these are my first job orders I've ever taken, and they're for you. I got a gift for you. You don't even have to take the order. And I filled everything out, and I knew exactly what I was doing because I used to work in skilled trades. And he's like, "Oh wow, that's actually pretty impressive. That you were able." I said, "I told you I used to do what you do." And the next day, my boss called me in, and he's like, "You'd have so much more potential if you do this, and your quotas aren't there, and everybody else, they have to make 150 phone calls every week, but for you to get there, you might have to make 300 phone calls in a week. So I need a new commitment from you of how much you're gonna do, and this and that." And he's trying to get me to do twice as much work, and didn't even fucking mention that I took 3 job orders for somebody else who got the points for those job orders, because you get a point system, because you have your meeting in the morning and your meeting in the afternoon, and there's a point system that checks to see how many orders you made, how many people fell. It's fucking, I couldn't take it. So I was kind of upset about that. My mom actually had just gotten out of the hospital. She was actually in really bad shape for a while. And my boss brings me in the back. He goes, "Come here for a minute." So towards the end of the day, and I was still kind of pissed, right? But I didn't say anything. And he goes, "Are you afraid?" And I said, "What?" He's like, "Are you afraid, of me firing you?" And, I mean, it's not what was wrong, but I said, "Yeah, I am." Because, of course, I don't want to get fired. I need a job. So, yeah, I'm always going to have that fear in me, boss. Yeah. Always a little afraid that I might get fired. He goes, "Well, that fear is going to hold you back, and this, that, and the other thing. And if you have fear, you're not going to be able to live up to your truest potential, and this and that." And I'm listening to everything he said. Everything he said. But what he didn't know is over the past week, I'd been looking for other work. And I'd actually been thinking about going back to work construction. It's more money, right? And I don't have as much. I was almost done with my support. Half of my obligations were gone. So I can go back. Things are a little bit different now. I said, it's warm. I said, plus it'd be good for my mind. When I worked construction, I could listen to books. I could listen to music. I could listen to and just relax, man. All I need is my hands. It's muscle memory. I don't need to work my brain all fucking day. And I get told how great I am, or at least I used to. That's what people would stop. Seasoned drywallers would stop and watch me, amazed. They'd been introduced to running water. They hadn't seen a taper like me before, because I do it in a way that most people don't anymore. I work a very old school method of doing things, and I still pick up new stuff. I can use a power sander. I actually own my own. I just haven't been using it and trying to get into shape. But I do have one. I do get with the times, but I work a lot like a way a mason does, and I work with everything I have. I think that's probably the more impressive part of it, is that I go to work and I work with absolutely every part of my being, my body, my soul, everything gets thrown into my work, and I love it. And the better I do, the more I look back, the more I get done and say, "Wow, look at all that I got done." Or the more I get told, "Hey, you're doing a really good job. I appreciate it." Or, "Wow, you're really good at this." Dude, that just makes me just want to work harder. It just makes you want to go more. It's actually a vicious cycle of not risk and reward, but work and reward. It's a vicious reward cycle. So I just work
You like that, enjoy what you
harder and harder and harder. Well, and that's also how my father trained me. That's how my father worked, and my father didn't put up with anything less. And I worked with a bunch of guys that would pick on you and bust on you for months for the smallest mistakes. So you learn really quick to just start getting good. Yeah. And I felt like quitting, man, when I first started, because it's hard work and you're getting picked on, and you got to work all the time. And I didn't understand my dad when he was like, "No, I like to work. I like to be tired. I like to be sore." And I'm like, "Why? How can you like that?" I get it now. Now I get it. Now I get it. I didn't get it before. Now I completely understand. The more sore my body is, the better my mind feels. My mind is so goddamn clear. I feel good. I feel uplifted. No, it's actually been working. It's been going back to work. That is what has made me feel just absolutely incredible.
I know, you don't come home with dick anymore.
I'm not stressed. I'm not getting told how much better I could do if I could do more, and I need to start worrying about my job. Instead, I go to work and I get told that I'm great, and please keep being great.
I get hugged.
Sure, I'm going to come to work tomorrow for you. I'm going to try and do twice as much now. But yeah, he didn't know I was looking at work and thinking about going back to construction. And his little speech about... Because I was afraid. My very first boss in the office told me I'd never be able to go back. I'll never be able to go back. You'll never be able to go back. You've been sitting in this office for too long. You can't go back now. You'll never be able to go back. And I shouldn't have listened. This is something that I've done for about, before I got in, about 17 years before I went to an office. I mean, I did it for a really long time, and I was really, 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 really fucking good at it. I shouldn't have listened to him, but there was a part of that did. I listened, I believed it. Like, maybe I can't now. Because I can't go to construct. If I go back on a construction site and I can't hack it, like, I'm not going to be able to handle going back on a construction site and getting laughed off of the job. I'm not going to be able to go back to a construction site and start getting blown out of the water by all the other drywallers, because that's not me. That's not who I am. I'm the guy. So I was really nervous that as large as I was, as round as I was, as much weight as I had put on, as out of shape as I was, as skinny as my arms had gotten. Yeah, I was a little nervous about going back to work and slinging mud and hauling buckets and carrying scaffolding and working really hard all day long. I didn't know if I'd be able to handle it. And I thought my body would get back into the swing in 2 weeks. I was wrong. It took 2 months for me to stop feeling the pain in my ankle every single day. It took me 2 months for my knees to start working. It took me 2 months to start taking stairs 2 at a time again. It really did take me a while to get back into it. And that's why, I knew, when my boss, the company I work for, the guy I work for, I knew when he liked my work when I first started, I was maybe 60% of my older self. Maybe 60% of my older self. Then I worked into 85%, and I was there for a long time, and I knew when I got there, you thought I was good before, wait till I hit 100%. And I felt it 2 weeks ago or so, maybe 3. That surge of 100% energy, and I'm back. And I'm gonna get a little bit more money, but I didn't try. It's not the point. So, but yeah, my boss said, don't be afraid. Fear is going to hold you back. I saw this guy was looking for a drywaller. I'm like, I still have all my tools. I've been sitting in my shed collecting dust for 7 years. Let's, all right. Sure thing, boss. You're right. I won't let fear hold me back anymore. That Friday, I turned in my notice. And I was going to turn it in earlier, and I'm glad I didn't. Because he would have fucked me. Because I turned in my 2-week notice, but I turned it in on Friday, so it was like a week and a half notice. because we had the weekend and then it was the following week. But I let them know Friday morning, as soon as I knew, because I couldn't land the job until Thursday night. I didn't want to turn in notice until I had a job locked in. So I emailed my boss Friday morning because he wasn't in the office, and it didn't go over well. He was really pissed off about it. He actually acted like a child, or like a teenage boy over a breakup. He was like really, really upset. And, this really hurts me. And I'm like, I'm sorry. You have a bunch of other people here, and this job blows, and you're not paying me enough money. I mean, that's not what I said, but I was like, I tried to give you as much notice as I can, and I really apologize, but this is going to pay me more money. It's what I enjoy doing, and I have to do what I need to do to take care of my family. Well, you promised me you'd give me a year. I don't remember that promise, and when we signed the paperwork, I don't remember seeing that anywhere in there. I remember seeing at-will employment, which means you can fire me whenever, and I'm able to leave whenever. I said, if I made that promise, I apologize, but I really do. I also made a promise to my family first, and I have to do what's best for them. And he's like, well, we'll talk Monday. He's like, don't tell anybody. I was like, all right, fine. So I didn't tell everybody, but one person already knew, and I told him that, was the girl at the front desk. And the guy that was behind me, because this is being handled in a fucking cubicle, he heard everything, the recruiter, a really nice guy. And then we all were doing shots on Friday after we closed the office. We'd all do a shot together, and we were doing shots together. I told them that the following week was going to be my last week. And we all did a shot together, and there was only one other person there that didn't know. And he took it. He's like, oh, I understand. You got to do what you got to do. So I get up, put on my suit, my tie, my dress shoes, and I'm out my suit jacket, and I go out to work. I don't remember what time I was leaving for work that morning, but I know I had to be there at 8 o'clock. And I show up at 7:45 every single day. And I remember that Friday, the recruiter told me, he goes, everybody in your position that's ever turned in a 2-week notice, he goes, they never make it past the first week. He's like, they always just end up getting let go. I was like, really? He goes, yeah. He goes, so I want to let you know that. So that Monday I go in, and I didn't even have a chance to set my shit down. My boss is like, come here for a minute. And I said, hold on, because he's in the office, and he's in the back. So I said, I have to use the bathroom. So I went and used the bathroom real quick. I went in and I sat down, and, he got all upset with me, and he's like, so tell me the truth. Are you going to work for another placement agency? And I said, no, I'm not going to work for another staffing company. I told you that. I told you I'm going back to work construction. He's like, well, okay, well, whatever. He's like, here, just sign this. And he's like, you can pack up your stuff. You still got time. It's not 8 o'clock yet, so you can get out of here. He goes, I know you said that you told that guy that you had to wait 2 weeks because you were working for me, but you know what? If he wants you to start earlier, now you can start earlier. Like a dick about it. And I was like, all right, fine, no problem. Now, I still couldn't start till the following week, which was right after Memorial Day. So right at the beginning of June, basically. But I'm glad I gave him, the 1 week notice instead of 2. Because if I did, he would have completely screwed me on income. I would have had I got a half a check for my severance. And no, this guy doesn't pay sick time. He doesn't pay holiday time. That's in your contract when you sign. So any holiday pay, any sick pay that you accrue while you're working there, nope, doesn't pay a bit of it. So I didn't get any of that. I just got 1 week pay out of a bi-weekly check. So I was getting paid every 2 weeks. So I had to wait that 2 weeks to get a 1 week check. So it's a good thing I went to work construction where a guy, he literally pays me the week I work. I work Monday through Friday, and that Friday I get paid for the week I worked that past week. There's no holding back a week or nothing like that.
And that's a 2 week check.
Yeah, and now I'm basically making a 2 week check. Every week. In fact, when I get my raise, I will be. Yep. I'll be making a 2 week check every single week. Well, I mean, at least you're still working where you love and you're getting the experience. So, I mean, that's good if you ever need to transfer to a different place.
Yep.
So just keep at it, wolf lover. Guess the point of the story is, I don't know, kind of looking back and seeing the holistic picture. When I was living on the streets, I told myself I'd never be able to do anything with my life. I was just living in a car. It was a waste case. Never would have a place to live. I'd probably end up in jail or dead. Never had a chance. I went into college. My parents told me that when I told them I was going to school for psychology, and I wasn't even going for therapy. They're like, "Oh, you're going to get a patient, and they're just going to jump off the roof of a building." I told everybody I was going to go to school for a master's degree when I got in for a bachelor's, and I think the only person that honestly believed me was my Aunt Roseanne. A lot of people thought that I was never going to be able to get out of construction and get an office job. And I was told I'd never be able to go back to work construction after I got an office job. I think even like not just everyone else, don't believe what you hear. Not even the shit that you tell yourself. You really can just do anything. If you want it bad enough, just go do it. If you can't do it, well, try again, or maybe you just don't want it bad enough. If you're not willing to keep trying at it. I mean, yeah, it takes hard work. And I was a little bit afraid. I did get a little bit comfortable and complacent in an office. I did kind of sit there and think to myself for a long time, do I even still have that inner fire that I had 10 years ago? Because when I went to work 10 years ago, man, I was trying to take care of kids and go to school, and I had all this ambition, and I finally got this office job where I'm just sitting behind a desk all week, and I had no drive. I had nothing, nowhere else to go. I had no other steps to make. I was like, all right, we're good now, we're here. And I got complacent. And I didn't know, if I go back to work construction, I need to find that inner fire. And the thing is that was when I was like 25, 28. I'm 42 years old. Am I really going to be able to go out and find that inner fire, my 25-year-old self again? And everybody who's been talking to me in the Discord over the past 2 months, it's pretty easy to see. It wasn't hard. that crazy, energetic motherfucker has been there the whole time, buried underneath a decade's worth of pizza boxes. You can do anything. Don't believe the crap that other people tell you. Don't do people say you can't do something. They're wrong. You absolutely can. The only thing that's ever going to stop you is you. Don't let yourself stop yourself. So, I'm going to go ahead and have a cigarette. One more. Maybe just hit my vape a few times. I'll have a smoke. I'll have a cigarette. And then I'm going to end the stream. Ended up going a little bit over what I wanted, but that's okay. I had some stuff to say. A little bit of words of enlightenment. They say you find... My wife listens to this song all the time, and it's an old saying too. Find what you love to do and call it work. Working in an office, and even working construction when I was younger, I didn't understand my father when he said I like to work hard. I like to be sore. I like to be tired at the end of the day. I like to be absolutely so exhausted that I can't do anything but lay in bed and watch the news until I pass out. I didn't understand what he meant. And working in that office and being complacent for so long, I get it now. Man, you sit down, you get sedentary, you lose your drive, you lose the motivation for what's next, and your fire dies out. You die inside. You stop living. You just kind of go through the motions of the day instead of living the day. And I did that for a while. Did that for a long time. Done a lot of introspection lately. And oh boy, have I seen my inner fire. Explained that last week. Nice and bright. Found it. I found it. Hello, Tamamo? I hope I said that right. Tamamo Zio. Oh, Dark Elf, hi. I mean, if you would have led with that, I could have saved myself some tongue pain. I do want to let you know I am closing out the stream when I'm done with this cigarette. So, just wanted to put that out there. And yes, when Pockets quits smoking in November, I'm going to be quitting cigarettes as well and just going straight back to vaping. Hopefully by then, and I think I'm going to be working still. I was worried about this job I'm working at shutting down for the winter. But it occurs to me that there's residences there. Like, I'm building apartment buildings inside of this warehouse. We're converting a warehouse into apartment buildings. So, like, apartments. So we're building these, like, apartment structures, and then, like, the apartments inside the structure inside of this warehouse. And I keep thinking, like, is there going to be work this winter? Because usually in New York, it's wintertime, it gets really cold out, and joint compound doesn't dry unless it's above 55 degrees. So if it gets cold in the building, there's no point in taping. Taping shuts down because the mud doesn't dry. It just freezes and falls off the wall. And temporary heating is expensive. So a lot of companies around here, they don't like to wrap in plastic and do the temporary heating thing anymore. So taping in the wintertime in New York is really scarce. But we're working inside of a warehouse where there's people in the apartments that we're building. As we're building them, people are moving in. And I seriously doubt they're going to leave this big warehouse open to the elements while there's people living in those apartments inside of the building. They're going to have to seal it off, and they're going to have to keep it heated to at least 55 degrees. So, and we're working in a different part of the warehouse now, like in a different building part of it, and we're going to be going back to that original part soon, probably by the end of September, I would believe, which means October, and I mean, there's a lot of work back over in this other section. October, November, maybe even December, and then who knows what else will be ready by then. So, and when I go back over there, I'll also be getting my pay raise, so I'm going to be sticking aside money in case I do end up getting laid off, to give myself a little bit of time to find a job. But the good thing is now, oh my god, the good thing is now is if I do lose my job and I don't have income, I gotta worry about paying back rent. Yeah, I have to worry about maybe my electric getting shut off, which would not be cool. But you know what I don't have to worry about? Is going to fucking jail. Good morning, Jose. So, I don't know. You gotta take the small wins when you do. So, going to camp this weekend. Gonna have fun at the Locust Lake party. And, yeah, I know I'm gonna boogie. I'm gonna have some fun. It's going to be the party that I need and that I've been waiting for 23 years. 23 years. It just feels good. And again, go to work and just have fun. I'm in a good place in my life. At least I feel that way. So, and I do have a lot of work to get done though. I'll feel a lot better once my work is done. So, no, I definitely would not survive jail, unfortunately. I am way too pretty to go to jail. Nope. Would not survive jail. And even if it was just county jail where it's not that bad, you know me. Anybody who knows me or talks to me on a regular basis knows that I am very free. I am like a bird. I have wings. I am free. I love my freedom. I love life. I love to live life and experience things. Experience new things. Experience old fun things. Share fun experiences that I've had with others. Share new experiences with others. I'm very much a very free person. And I'm not a bad person. Everybody who knows me knows I'm a pretty decent guy. I'm a little bit too nice. I'm a bit of a welcome mat, if I'm being honest with myself. I don't deserve to go to jail. You can't lock me up in a cage. It's like locking up a killer whale. They die. Or a shark, like a great white shark. I'll just die. I need to be free. Need to. My soul will blacken and I'll perish. I cannot go to jail. So, I live my life as well as I can to not get in trouble, and not do, stupid things but still enjoy life. Because you have to be able to enjoy it. You're only here once. So. Because child support, I was talking about how I don't pay child support, Reaper. When you don't pay child support, they take you to jail. They send cops to where your house is, or they send cops to your work, or if you get pulled over, the cop brings you to the police station, and then they put you through the system, and you go to jail, and you await your court date, and then after you talk to the judge, you go back to jail, and they put you on work release, making 50 cents an hour until your child support is paid off. And then when you get out of jail, you have to pay back all the arrears that you weren't paying while you were in jail, because you were paying off just your arrears, not your payments. So you have to make all those back payments too when you get out, and it's that much harder to find a job because you just got out of jail. And once that happens, it's a vicious cycle. You're basically doomed to be in the system forever, because it's impossible to get work, and you need to work in order to stay out of jail. So, and because you go to jail, you can't find work. Because you can't find work, you go to jail. It's the same thing over and over. Pennsylvania court systems are they're privately owned, they're privately run. It's a business. So the courts and the jails, they get X amount of money in Pennsylvania for how many people are in the jail. So many people in jail is so much funding that they get. So they're a little bit corrupt. They kind of skew things a little bit. And yeah, now granted, this is now, I say $225 every single week for 2 children is what I was paying. Now granted, now I talk to people, they're like, yeah, it's about, but keep in mind, this was 23 years ago. So back in the very early 2000s, when minimum wage was way lower, $225 every single week. And it didn't matter if I was on unemployment. It didn't matter if my unemployment was $236 a week for 3 months because I got laid off from construction because it's wintertime and there's no taping work. And I'm making $236 a week, and after $225, I have $11 left over every week, $11. And I have my wife, I have 2 little girls in the house, and a baby. So I have 3 people to take care of past myself on $11 a week, and I'm the only one working, the only one generating income. The only income coming into the house is $11 a week. Do you know how terrifying that is? It's a nightmare. I can't even explain it. That fear of losing everything that you've worked so hard for. Imagine you wanted to always meet somebody that made you feel complete, that you wanted to find your soulmate. Then you do. Then this soulmate has these 2 adorable little girls, and you get to take care of them as a stepdad. Now you're working, you have a baby of your own, and at any moment, someone could step in, pull the rug out from under you, and you lose it all. Your house, your wife, your kids, all of it. Gone. Goodbye. Overnight. And not even doing anything wrong. Not even being a bad person. Just, hey, I've been working and I got laid off. I'm going back to work soon. I'll even pay you the money back. But that doesn't matter. They want you in jail so they can get their money. They want you to fail. They set you up to fail. And I was very afraid of speaking about this when I was paying support, because of how corrupt the system is, that they could always just go back and be like, well, now you be here. They're vindictive. And I know it sounds strange, man, but that's how these people are. But now that I'm done, I'm being outspoken. I paid my support, and I never complained. Never been to jail. I paid it all. $235,000. Little over. That's what I paid. Never complained. The system is fucking broken. It doesn't help children. It hurts families. And it's because there's no discretion, and it's because of all the deadbeats that are out there. It ruins it for everybody else. They also need, if your support payments are above a certain amount, they need to raise the amount and where action is going to be taken. Like $1,000, they could come across the border and come grab me and bring me to court and throw me to jail. That's 4 weeks. 4 weeks of not being able to pay. A month of being laid off. That to a parent that's been paying for years. 1 month not being able to pay. I'll pay it back. Don't matter. You're going to jail. That's wrong. That's wrong. And it doesn't just hurt the person you're throwing in jail. It hurts the child that he's paying for, because now he can't pay for the fucking child. It hurts any other children that are in his life that you're not taking account of because they're not in the system. So if they're not in the system, they don't matter. And the last person that I just ended is done paying support for. I'm done paying early because the child, not a child really anymore, the child wasn't living in the house with her for 2 years. 2 years. And I knew it. The courts told me this, and they sent me paperwork, and I said, I don't care. I'm going to pay anyway. She never notified the courts. I kept paying her. You don't pay. When you pay support, you're not paying for the kid. You're paying for the spouse. You're paying for the ex-spouse. You're paying for the other parent to live. My first ex took me to court saying he hasn't paid me last week. I can't make my car payment and I can't pay my cable bill. And that upset me. Like, if you're gonna say something, say I can't afford diapers or something like why I can't afford this. You know what the court did? They raised my child support. They doubled it. Yeah, she can't pay it with your support that you're paying. You need to pay more. Because she needs her car to get the child back and forth, and she needs cable for child enrichment. Now, the car, I can understand, but you're going to argue cable, I need to pay for my ex's cable bill? The system is flawed. Flawed. Very, very flawed. It hurts families. It hurts children. It hurts people. I am not saying don't pay your support. By all means, if you have child support, if you ever have child support, pay it. Don't go to jail. Don't be a deadbeat. But I don't know, man. Some high-ranking official needs to change something. Because I can, at 42 years old now, I can finally live. I can finally save money before a raise. Before I even get a raise. Now that my car's being repaired, I got to fix the car and get that paid off. Once the car's paid, I can save money. And I'm getting a raise on top of it. You know how much easier life is going to be for me now? Be able to pay my bills and save money. Holy shit, that is literally a new concept to me. No more fear of jail. You know how many nightmares I've had about going to jail? Those I'll probably have for the rest of my life. Foster care is also extremely broken as well. But again, the system doesn't care because the system is like a college. And I loved college. I did. I still very much vouch for college, and I validate for college. You should go to college. Higher education is not maybe good for like everybody else, but it's good for you. It's good to expand your horizons, and especially in an educational institutional setting. But it's a business. Most colleges nowadays, they don't check SAT scores. They don't look at your grades. They just want your money. When I got to college, they put me in college before I even had the funding. They're like, oh, we're working on the funding now. Your classes start here. Don't worry. We'll have your funding ready. And they did. I owe $200,000 in college loans. And those payments won't even come close to the payments I was making for my support, so that's still negligible. But college is a business. The courts are a business. Government is a business. Business just wants your money. Doesn't care about you. Doesn't care about your life. Doesn't care about your children's lives. Doesn't just want your money. Obey, consume, obey, consume. Buy product, consume product. Listen to us sell new product. Get excited for new product. Don't put one foot in front of the other. Don't just go through the motions. Live life every day. Think and think about thinking. Be good to yourselves. Be good people. Don't ever quit. Don't ever listen to what other people say. And beyond all that, please be safe out there today. And have a great day. Have a great week. Happy Sunday. Some of you I'll be seeing at Locust Lake this coming Friday. And we're going to party all weekend long. And it's going to be fucking awesome. I love you guys. So, have a great day. Can't wait to hear the next origin story. I know you guys have been working hard on it. And you say yet. So that's it's a good idea maybe. But, yeah. Love you guys. I'm going to go ahead and close the stream. I want you to please have a good day. Like I said, be safe out there. Like I said. And as always, stay creepy. Bye-bye.